Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. I'm going to be talking about Shiva's very hard quest here. I'm going to show you my teams, my setups, my stats, and then replacements. If you don't have this character, you can use this character instead. We're going to jump into the quest, talk about the boss, how the mechanics work, and I'm going to show you step by step every single move and why we bring what we bring into the fight and when to react to when Shiva does certain things. This is probably one of the hardest summons in the game right now. There's only 3. The other 2 are a lot simpler. Even Ramu, Shiva is just that really annoying one, and she's currently going to be used for the high score challenge, which if you have AoE ice, you're going to be able to clear that a lot quicker, which means more score, which means better ranking. But Shiva overall is a very powerful summon, so let's get her, and hopefully this video helps you guys out. So before we jump into the team setup, let me quickly tell you about Shiva's boss details here. Obviously, she's weak to fire. This is going to go in hand by depleting her orange bar to stun her, do more damage. And you want to bring in fire magic versus fire physical, because magic attacks are more effective against this enemy. So bringing in a fire magic team is going to be way better than bringing in a fire physical. Not saying it's impossible, but it definitely makes it much easier if you have a magic setup. So that being said, here is the team I use. I will show you replacements for everything here, or as much as I can in this video. I'll talk about it. If anything else, there is a Discord link down below, or a Twitch stream link where you guys can catch me live, or talk to anyone in my Discord to help you out a little bit more. So, what did I bring in, and why did I bring it? Key number 1 is bringing in Ifrit. That is key number 1. You got to bring in Ifrit. Ifrit's going to take down a big chunk of the gauge on top of Shiva's head. Second is bringing a magic attack down user. Mine is Red 13. Red 13 has a limit break called Sledfang, and Sledfang lowers a physical and magic attack down by mid-tier. So 2 tiers down of magic attack, which is huge. And not only that, we also got D-Faith from the new First Soldier story. So if you play First Soldier all the way to the end, there's going to be a room with a chest. You open that chest, it's going to have D Brave in it, and then when you complete the quest, it's going to have D Faith. So go do the First Soldier quest for this materia. It's going to make a big difference, and make sure to lock it so you don't sell it by accident. I leveled up mine to level 5. Everything I have is level 5, level 10 for the extra stats, because every little bit of stats make a big difference. So keep that in mind. My materia is as high as it can get without being like it's kind of a waste. So key number 1, Ifrit. Key number 2, lowering the enemy's magic attack. If you can bring these 2 mechanics in, you can switch around this team as much as you want. Red 13 doesn't have to hold D-Faith. It could be another character. Another character's weapon can lower the magic attack as well. So you got to pick and choose what you got. Let me show you an example of Red 13 replacement. So here's a chart that I made that shows you all the physical and magic attack down users / weapons that are currently in the game. If you guys want a replacement for Red 13, Limit Break, you can bring in Lucia instead, and her Limit Break does the same thing Red 13's does. Red 13 is a little bit better of a magic user, but at the same time, you can make Lucia just as strong as Red 13 when it comes to magic. Now, if you have other characters that actually lower magic attack down, your options are Tifa with her Fangs. You got Lucia's weapon over here, you got Barrett's bazooka, and you got Red 13's junk collar. I don't have his junk collar, so this setup doesn't have it, but that's your options for other magic attack down. The benefit to bringing in a weapon that actually has magic attack down is that these weapons take down 2 tiers for 4 ATB compared to D-Faith, which takes down only 1 tier of magic attack for 3 bars. So for 1 extra bar, you get to take down 2 right away, which makes a big difference. So if you can bring in those weapons instead, they're going to help a lot. So with that out of the way, this is my Red 13 sub weapons. I'm trying to bring the ability to increase my magic as big as possible and also have survivability with HP. You want a little over 4,000 HP to survive most of the attacks. Depends what you have, what you're putting on your character. But for the most part, this is what my Red 13 looks like overall for his R abilities. And his stats are as follows: 5,400 HP, and he's got a magic attack of 1,358. Even though I have better physical attack on these characters, when I do fire blows, especially my materia, it's not that great and it doesn't do as much damage because Shiva is weak to magic. And the way you can tell is that magic materia is green and physical materia is yellow. So for the support character, Red 13 is what I'm currently using. Lucia is the other option. If you don't have their limit breaks and their characters worked out, bring in that character with a weapon and then give D-Faith to someone else besides them. So if you bring in Barrett with Bazooka, give Sephiroth the D-Faith. Now when it comes to my main DPS, again, I brought in Sephiroth, and Sephiroth is going to be using the Ifrit summon because Red 13's limit break is too powerful to take off for this fight, and he's going to have all the fire damage that he can as much as possible. My Sephiroth's sitting at 1,935 and 4,700 HP. His R abilities are Boost Magic 43, Ice doesn't matter, HP 18 points, you got a little bit of Magic Potency, and Boost Attack 13 here. Everything else is pretty much here and there. Magic Defense does help to survive. But now for his weapons, he's rocking his Edgewing, which is his current best weapon for Ice. Totally not for this fight, but I'm using it for the Boost Magic Attack plus 26. My Sephiroth doesn't have a lot of options, so this is what I'm using. There is other weapons. Just look for what increases your magic attack to the highest stat it can. Don't need to copy me here. If you have his Fire Sword, put on his Fire Sword because it has both magic attack and fire potency up, which would be a lot more powerful here. Again, I'm only using what I currently have and giving you examples on that. And then I'm bringing in Nameless. If you don't have anyone else on the team that can lower magic defense down, Nameless is pretty good for this. It only goes up to mid tier, which is 2 arrows down. So you want to bring in Nameless or someone else, like Tifa does have it. So you can mix Tifa with her magic attack down slash magic defense down, so Tifa runs 2 rolls there. But you can just bring in Nameless for 2 ATB. You lower it once, lower it twice. You'll see me use that a lot in this fight. If you're not using that, then you're magic attacking up with Sephiroth's other sword. My Sephiroth is bringing in Esuna for Fog. I want to run at least 2 of these because that's one of the big mechanics in this fight. If you don't have Fog Esuna, then you're going to be hurting a lot. And for the last thing on Sephiroth, his sub-weapons, I did take away Umbrella from Aerith because all she does is cast that. So instead, Sephiroth really benefits for more magic because the Umbrella does have Boost Magic Attack 24 on there and Boost Magic Ability Potency as well. So Umbrella is on here, Barrett's Hauser, and I got some survivability to make my HP go above 4,000. If you do have these event weapons, the boost HP is nice. If not, look for something that has that replacement. Overall, half of 319 and boost HP plus boost magic defense allows Sephiroth to survive a lot more hits. So Sephiroth's my main magic DPS user. You guys can also go with someone like Tifa. So let me show you Tifa really quick here. Tifa would bring in that magic attack down on the enemy and also magic defense down. So you can run a setup like Kaiser Knuckles in the first hand because Kaiser Knuckle has more natural magic ability on it. And you also got that magic defense down with survivability, which is really, really good for Shiva. You got the ice resist and magic defense. Then you'd bring in her Tiger Fangs, which at level 90 boosts your magic. Doesn't have the biggest flat stat there, it's 185. Even if you level it up, you'll see it's more of a physical weapon, but it has that boost magic attack there. Plus, it also lowers the enemy's magic attack. So everything's a win-win there for the whole entire setup. If not, you can bring in other stuff like Power Soul, which brings survivability, boost magic potency, and it has more of a flat stat compared to the other weapons. So you can build Tifa, and there's other options, survivability, more HP, just kind of see what you have. The main 2 would definitely be the Kaiser and the Tiger Fangs. The other option for DPS is Zack. There's other characters too, but these ones are most powerful because Zack does have the fire Ifrit weapon. So if you guys are able to farm that, it's going to make a huge difference, especially because its fire potency is so high on the ability off of the weapon that you don't even need a materia to do this. But if you're looking at Zack's best magical weapons, these are the ones raw stat wise. The Umbrella at 398. Then you've got the Arc Sword, which also lowers magic defense at 225. So you guys can bring all this, and Zack's Crystal Sword is very strong as well. His R abilities and a good combination is either the Ifrit Sword, which should be the main one. If you don't, then you're bringing in Umbrella and you're bringing the Arch Sword. Arch Sword is really good because it has boost magic on it, as you guys can see, and it's also one of the magic boosting ones. If you want more fire potency, then you bring in his Crystal Sword that boosts his attack, R ability, and it has fire boost as well. So you're either using Crystal Sword, Arc Sword, Umbrella, or Ifrit in a combination. These 2 together will give you a bunch of fire potency, right, along with a lot of damage, but the Arc Sword brings that magic defense down, which is also very huge. So those are the options you want to bring in when it comes to his magic setup. And for the final character on your team is your healer. Mine is currently Aerith with Fairy Tail, which is one of the strongest AoE healers in the game. The reason she has AoE heals is because of the weapon Fairy Tail. If you don't have that, you want to bring in Matt with his healing weapon, or you want to bring in Tifa with her healing weapon. Cloud and other characters do have AoE healing weapons, they're just not as strong. You can try to use it. If it doesn't work, then you know you need a different healer. For my setup, I am going to be using Aerith. If not, Tifa and Matt are very good examples of very strong healers that you can bring in instead. Now, when it comes to my Aerith build, Aerith does have a costume on. That's not the beach one. It's the one for the gear voucher. Boosts his heal by 8 and magic defense up, which is going to help a lot with the healing. Now, when it comes to everything else here, her limit break is maxed out. Bring in the healing limit break. It's going to save your life multiple occasions, and try to bring it as a high level as possible. That is a very key factor for having a very good survivability team. Now, when it comes to my sub weapon, I'm not using Umbrella. I'm using Mithril Rod because it has magic defense up. She has other stuff that you can bring in instead to boost her healing, like Guard Stick. Very good if you bring a Guard Stick and then Fairy Tail in the second, but I don't have Guard Stick. Guard Stick's our ability for healing is huge and makes her so much stronger, but that's not my current setup, so I'm bringing in this one, and I don't really use it during this fight because I'm using so much ATB for everything else. It's just there if you can cast it. Of HP of 5,454, magic attack's only 1,200, and my heal is 1,209. So you want to just kind of bring up her survivability and her actual magic attack. If you can do that, great. If not, then bring up her healing so you don't have to worry about healing. But healing doesn't have to be full HP all the time, because you can get away with a lot if you're managing Shiva's magic attack down. So that's why other healers work as well besides Aerith. You want to bring in survivability and more magic damage. You can see here, I'm bringing in these weapons only because it boosts my magic attack up and my heal up. Out of all my weapons, my survivability / healing and magic was increased to maximum by these three. Yours are going to look totally different. So mix and match until you bring that up. Heal, HP, and magic. Very important. Besides that, that's it. That's the healer. You bring in another Esuna for Fog because that's going to be really annoying during the fight. But everyone on the team is rocking Circle Sigil. Everyone on the team is rocking a Fire magic spell. And everybody on the team has something to stop Shiva's mechanics, aka we've got Defog on 2 characters and Defaith on another character. So that's the team setup. Hopefully something here helped you out. Now let's jump into the fight. All right, so quickly touch upon the first 2 waves. You're going to want to control your healer and only heal. Switch to defense mode, only to heal, and back to attack mode because you want this full buff here. If you let that bar go down, you're losing the full buff. For this phase here, I kill the prince first because if you leave the prince for last, he kills everyone with the big AoE hit. If you don't kill the prince first, you can kill a bomb first. It's on your party how much you can survive, but if you're controlling your healer and you're healing, you're okay. You can see I'm playing in semi and full speed because I know what I'm doing for this phase. It's switching this only to heal in defense mode, and that's it. And you're either going to, again, kill the bomb or kill the prince. Once you're done that, you're perfectly fine. So kill the bomb first, most likely, then kill the prince. Never leave the prince for last. So if you do this part properly, the first 2 waves, you'll be leaving with full HP and full limit breaks. It's going to help a lot if your limit breaks are here. During this, if you can save Ifrit for when you break her defense, like the full bar, if you're able to break that bar and then be able to go out of your way and use Ifrit during her big vulnerable moment, you'll get through this a lot quicker and easier. But the first part here is you just prepping your fire attacks and getting ready to defog. I jump the gun and I use Hellfire. Save Hellfire after she casts her ability. That way you can just lower that Ice Age bar down a lot quicker. But personally, it's definitely not good to use it here. Use it later. I just got nervous. You're going to see where you got fogged, AoE fogged, all the way over there across the screen. This is why we brought in Esuna Fog to take that off. Aerith cast one, Sephiroth cast the other one, and now only Sephiroth is left with it. You want this to get off as soon as possible. Once you're thinking about all of this at the same time, you're going to have to switch to defense mode, and then you're going to want to Sled Fang here. I do Sled Fang. You don't have to. You don't have to lower the magic attack at all, but I bring it in. I don't use my healing because healing's going to be afterwards, and this is where like all 3 limit breaks could have been used after Heavenly Strike, because Heavenly Strike won't kill you, especially if you put 1 Defaith down, 1 magic attack down, you should survive. But with having 2 down, 3,940, I felt a lot more safer, and then I cast Healing Wind. So, beginning phase is defog your party, get ready, embrace the attack, and now here is where you should have used like Hellfire. If you can save Hellfire, like I said before, when you break that orange or bar above her, the Ice Age bar, and you still have your Hellfire, you're going to do so much damage. But this phase is switch between every character and spam fire. Make sure the AI is using nothing but fire, nothing but fire. You don't have to lower the enemy's attack here. You're ready defogged. You're ready at a good amount of HP. She's not doing a lot of damage. She's only casting 1 spell every so often and not a huge amount of damage. You just getting in there and doing as much as you can with fire spells. Now, a key is try to get your magic defense down ready. So when she does get stunned, she's taking maximum damage. You can see I'm doing 8,000, 7,000, 9,000 damage off my fire spells from everyone. Everyone has a different amount. Aerith right now is about to pop 3,374, right? 6,000. So this is where your big damage. And if you still had Hellfire, huge damage. Now, phase number 2 is double cast. Key factor here, you can see above her, or right below her, she has, and if there's an option to turn this on to show you those little tiers, but she's got 5 tiers of magic attack up. Switch to your character that lowers magic attack immediately. Lucia and Red 13 have a limit break. I immediately use the limit break to take down 2 tiers, and then I spam Defaith over and over and over until it's gone. And you can do this because your other 2 characters have the Circle Sigil. If you don't do this, you're gonna die here. You gotta immediately lower that magic attack, or you're just gonna get one-shotted before you can even pop up a limit break or heal. So you want those 2 characters, Bazooka Unburied for 2 tiers, Defaith on another character, or limit breaks like I did. Now again here, you guys can go crazy. This is where you recover a little bit HP. You can switch to defense mode in semi-auto, and you don't have to switch to your Aerith for heals. So if you see Aerith's ATB is going to be at the right amount to heal, just push defense on your stance right above my head and she'll heal. But this is where I brought in all of it except for Sledfang. At this point, somewhere around after the double cast, keep Sledfang up at all times. Only cast a 1 Defaith so you take less damage, so her Ice Age bar doesn't fill up as much. This is where you're gonna steadily just try to survive and kill her. The whole thing here is cast 1 Defaith, lower defense, break that bar, rinse and repeat until she goes into a berserk mode later on and she casts a spell that wipes out the entire party. Now it's just a slow and steady race all the way to the end. Again, if I saved Hellfire, I would have been way faster out of this quest and a lot easier than going through all these phases, but I thought this was gonna be more relatable, not using Hellfire during that low defense. So now she's back at it, her Ice Age bar is back, another opportunity to stun. So you're lowering that magic defense down, and you're switching between fires. Or, after that stun, save some ATB on the characters that have defog, so that way you can get rid of the fog, because she cast it one more time. And again, during that moment, she's ready. So here, I didn't use Sledfang, and I only had the one, magic defense, or magic attack down, and I'm in defense mode. And we just barely survived. So if you were able to cast your Limit Break Lucia or a weapon that lowers 2 tiers of magic attack, you can survive that a lot easier than I did. But again, if you survive that and you're this far, it's rinse and repeat now. Now we're just getting our characters back up. Not too much healing, because if you heal too much, you're not going to have a good time bringing down this Ice Age specifically, which I actually don't think I did. I don't think I brought this one down. Because one, I'm trying to charge my Ifrit up. Spam Fire, because it seems like spamming Fire with a Fire summon increases that summon bar more. If you had Shiva and you use Blizzard, the summon bar, summon bar goes up more. It's just something I kind of noticed, that if you do spam the right attribute, it does seem like the actual bar, the summon bar, the limit break bar increases. But this is rinse and repeat. You're just lowering her attack, lowering her defense, spamming Fire, in hopes that you'll take down that bar. Every time you go into this, that bar is bigger and bigger and bigger, so it's constantly a race here. So that's why Hellfire being used over there was best. But again, there's the big buff. You see that buff? Sledfang. Immediately. Or Lucia's Limit Break. Or character's magic attack down weapon that does 2 tiers. And then spam Defaiths and that magic attack 2 tier down. Because again, you're going to go in defense mode, and you're just going to get that down as soon as possible, because these Diamond Dust are going to hurt. Even lowering it to as much as I did, these hurt, man. Watch the damage. 3,820 on Red 13. So yeah, as long as you're around 4,000 HP and max HP during those phases, you're fine. But I held on to a Hellfire. I could have done this more efficiently. There's many things I could have done here, but you can see she's got the fire resist, so we're not able to stun her anymore. Now it's just DPS. Lower the magic defense down, keep spamming, and keep going. I don't really think there's much more to say from this point on, besides that's pretty much it. We're going to go over and over and over. Even bringing Hellfire, you can see that's barely touched, and that's a maxed out Hellfire. So your best opportunities were back there to use Hellfire after you broke the bar, because she would probably be dead by now, and you don't have to worry about all this. But again, save Sledfang if you have it, or Lucia's Limit Break. If not, make sure you're controlling the character that has the Defaith or the ability to lower magic attack down. That's all you're doing. You're mitigating the damage you're taking, and you're just healing whenever you need to, not all the time. Surprisingly here, because I'm not healing with Aerith and I'm using her fire spell, I'm able to get another one. So sometimes you got to take the chance, and if you have your Limit Break heal, use it so you can continue DPSing with your healer. In my case, Aerith has a Limit Break heal, so I can get away with fire spam on her. Where your healer most likely doesn't have a Limit Break if it's Tifa or someone else, so you have to use their heals from a cast, and your AT bar is not going to be used for that. But that's it. That's the entire fight, guys. It is very hard. It is not easy by all means. As we get stronger, this fight will get easier, but this is my step-by-step. I'm going to show you everything. No big Hellfire damage during that stun phase, and that's how I got through it. One thing to keep in mind, that if you don't end up killing it as fast as I killed it, there's another phase in the end where it's just a DPS race and do nothing else but DPS. They're going to be an orange bar, it's going to say Diamond Dust, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to kill. That's your last moment. Just kill. So defense downs, fire spam, Hellfire, all your Limit Breaks, and just get out of there as soon as possible. If you make it to that point, and you can't DPS it that far, try to include more, thanks for the follow over on Twitch, try to include more Hellfires in the defense down phase where she gets stunned, right? So try to just push your limit there and get that big damage in. Well, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. I know there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of different setups. You guys might have different weapons, items, materia. You just got to find what works for you with whatever information you can get out of this video. Hopefully it does help out. If it doesn't, I have a Discord link down below and a Twitch. During my Twitch live streams, I can help you out live, or my Discord, there's plenty of people there that will help you out. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.